What an inviting trellis of wrought iron perfection, intricately entwined, and when left to the mind's eye, it's easy to imagine a palette festooned with colorful clematis, weaving its way through magical twists and turns on its way to a destination of beauty and wonder. Or it's just a Volkswagen with a crazy cage around it. A world of wonder, where fantastical music machines provide the soundtrack for a tantalizing stroll through history. Vintage automobiles and memorabilia stimulate the senses around every chromed curve and corner. This is Inside Stahls. Of all the show-stopping beauty, history, and magnificent movie machines at the Stahls Auto Collection, one of the most eye-catching attractions is this 1970 wrought iron Beetle. Known as the Casa Linda Lace Volkswagen, it sits over a 1970 stock Beetle interior, complete with AM radio and a 90-mile-per-hour speedometer. When people see it, their first reaction is, well, would you look at that? Their next reaction is, why? Wait, what? But don't get carried away, because as the sticker says, please don't tease the car. Here's the why, the weight, and the what. The original builder of the wrought iron Beetle was Rafael Esparza Prieto. He came from a large family of blacksmiths and grew up in the family business. According to a story found on oldbug.com, Rafael eventually took a second job working at a local auto parts store. The owner knew of Rafael's background and asked if he would make a wrought iron sign for the business. Rafael had an idea. Inspired by the ornate gates that surrounded the homes in his town, he found an actual Volkswagen and used it to create the shape or form. And then his skill and artistry took over. He began to hammer, twist, and turn the metal into unique shapes and patterns, finishing what was eventually a one-of-a-kind, light and airy bug. The wrought iron Beetle became quite the attraction and eventually caught the attention of Volkswagen. They hired Rafael to build a pair for the 1968 Mexico City Summer Olympics. Not long after, VW bigwigs began making requests for the car, and dealerships from all around the world were placing orders. Besides the head turnability factor, it was extremely fuel efficient. It was as if the wind rolled right through it. But the fact that it wasn't airtight also meant that it wasn't rain tight. Now, it performed just fine in the elements, but driver and passenger wouldn't. Everyone wanted one of Rafael's Beetles, but this kind of craftsmanship wasn't available to just everyone. As the story goes, Rafael built 20 wrought iron Beetles for Volkswagen and another 2 for himself, including the original he built for the auto parts store in Mexico. It's believed he completed 23 of his handmade creations. Because of their lacy nature, these were also known as wedding cars. In fact, before coming to Stahls, this car was owned by a resort and used for weddings. Imitations exist around the world, but a Rafael Esparza Prieto wrought iron Volkswagen is rare indeed. And after his passing in 2013, he is one of the youngest builders featured in the Stahls collection today. So given the history and its reputation as a wedding car, if you're at Stahls and you're asked if you'd like to see a Volkswagen made entirely out of wrought iron, the only appropriate and acceptable answer is, I do.